Okay, all right. We're going to be talking about finding passion and purpose as a strategy for dealing with depression. Now, in the United States, there are about 15 million people who are dealing with depression, and those depression will take on these characteristics: periodic sadness, loss of interest, feelings of helplessness, sleep disturbances, or even difficulty concentrating. And some people will have periodic or what's called episodic depression, and some will have ongoing or chronic depression. Periodic depression can be triggered by something. Something happens and a person feels low or depressed. Ongoing depression is more persistent, more pervasive, more, it's not necessarily permanent, but it is long term. And uh, so oftentimes uh, you will find that the depression is linked to what's happening with a person's life in terms of their work, their social life, their community involvement, where a person feels they are. So if a person feels they're not making the money, they're not doing the type of work, that life is not how they imagined that it would be at a certain period of time. And many times people will look at that and say, okay, by the time I'm 25 or 30 or 40 or 50, I want to have, I want to be, do, or have this, that, or the other. I want to be in this position. I want to have this amount of money or generate this amount of money. I want to have a home or vehicles or be married or be in this type of relationship or have or something that calls to them, something that they really have been desiring and have wanted sometimes for decades. Okay? And so finding their purpose in life is very important. So I would encourage you to find your purpose in life. Don't look beyond just the money. Look at what you feel your life purpose is. Look at what ignites you, what excites you. Right? And and lean into that. Okay? Now, I know some people say, well, there may be the things that you love to do aren't necessarily things that are supporting you or can support you right now. But try to find that purpose. Sometimes it's not what you're doing as your primary sense of work, but you want to discover that anyway. So at the end of the road, at the end of life, we're going to ask ourselves: is like, was it worth it? Did I accomplish what I wanted to accomplish? Did I get to where I wanted to get? Did I make a difference in life? And then for some of us, did I leave a legacy? So oftentimes people feel empty and have a lack of direction unless they find that purpose and connect with that. And one way to do that is engaging in more activities that ignite the excitement within you, and um, that can be your hobbies, that can be with arts, that can be some type of activity, something that really calls to you, right? and and it would be your charge to do that more. Now, there are some herbs, and there are herbal approach, and there's a nutritional approach, and there's supplements that you can take that will be helpful in dealing with depression as well. St. John's wort, saffron, ashwagandha would be herbs that can help to elevate your mood and help you to feel better. Incorporating omega-3 fatty acids as well, B vitamins and magnesium rich foods, vitamin D and probiotics, and doing some things that are good for your gut health is important as well. There's a brain gut health, or you might even call it the brain ball uh, connection as well. This vitally important. And then we have lifestyle changes. What are some things we can do uh, in addition to exercise, in addition to finding that passion and purpose? And that would be regular physical activity. Rule of thumb is 30 to 60 minutes a day. So there are all kinds of hormones and chemicals that are released in the body when we do exercise. And that's exercising without the phone, without distractions, not exercising on the couch, okay, or just a little here and there, but that's devoting the time to 30 to 60 minutes a day. Now, some people say, well, how often do I have to do that? Well, you start from where you're at. Start with 10 minutes if you're not exercising at all, 10 to 15 minutes, go to 20 minutes and then 30 minutes. And as you do that consistently over a period of weeks and then over months, you may get to 45 minutes or an hour or so a day. You'll be surprised how you'll feel, the difference it'll make in terms of your weight, your sleeping, your sense of well-being, your depression at times that you're low. If you're feeling low, I'll tell you, I challenge you to do this. If you're feeling low, I challenge you to go out and do some exercise. And don't do, some people say, listen to your body. Sometimes your body lies to you. Sometimes, or your mind will. I'm not sure which lies to you more, but sometimes people will say, well, I didn't really feel like doing such. But if you do it, if you do the exercise, if you say, you know what, I'm going to get out here and walk. I'm going to walk up to the corner. I'm going to walk around the block. Or I'm going to walk at the park or on the track, or if you belong to a gym membership, even have a gym membership, even better, because you can exercise outside, you can exercise inside, and get that exercise in. Getting the exercise in, and then hitting that shower and or sauna, or something will that always lifts my mood. That always changes my mood and state of mind as well. And so regular physical exercise, building that into your program. Ideally daily. And when I say daily, I mean 6 days a week. Okay. Now I usually have, a day off, and many people have a day that they can have down. Doesn't mean you let everything go. But if you're exercising 6 days a week, up, and getting up to 30 to 60 minutes a day, you'll notice a significant difference in your state of mind. Also, sleep. In fact, these two go hand in hand. Exercising regularly and getting adequate amounts of sleep, 6 to 8 hours a day. So the amount of time you sleep a day and the time of day is both important. So, and if you get to sleep regularly, you've got to find a time to turn off the television in all areas of all types of stimulation, off the computer, and you know, or any devices, your phone or anything like that, and make sure that you start typically about an hour or so ahead of the time that you want to fall asleep, that you start winding down. Okay, that's like with children. I know one of the strategies that I employed, and a lot of parents would employ, is to get ready for bed before it's time for bed. It's like if you tell kids, okay, take your shower, take your bath, and then get your pajamas on. You don't have to go to bed now, but get ready for bed. If you do that an hour ahead, your body's going to start winding down. So it's when it's time to actually go to sleep, it's easier to get into that because you physically have prepared yourself. Okay, so start winding down, shutting things off, and getting ready for bed. Especially if you're one of those many people that I've spoken to that have trouble sleeping or staying asleep at night. And then, so disruption in sleep can, will add to depression and feelings of mm, mm, um, uh, being low, anxious, difficulty concentrating, all types of things like that. And then mindfulness and meditation, having a time when you're peaceful, when you're quiet, when you're still. So we need times of activity, and people usually get that with their work or the goings on of the day. And then if you have some exercise in there, so you're being active, then that, and part of that winding down process is being quiet and still. So there are practices if you want to look more into this, you'll see mindfulness or meditation, and there are different strategies on that. Not going to cover it in this video, but we'll may talk about it in subsequent videos in terms of those practices and how you can get your mind to still. Because some people, their sleep will be impacted because their brain is so busy. They'll get anxious or depressed because so much is going on in their mind. So we got to have a time and strategy for winding that down on a regular basis. And that promotes relaxation, being present in the moment, and not being so overly stimulated in a society and a time that these electronics and technology can easily overstimulate us. And then engaging in joyful activities, finding your passion. Finding some things that you like to do. Do you like to dance? I like to dance. You like music? Like certain type of music? It's something that makes you just feel good. It takes you to another place. It takes you on a vacation without actually having to go on a vacation, without having to leave town, after leaving your local area. Well, find that. Find some hobby, art, sports, something that makes you feel good, and make sure that you schedule time for that. That'll help to lift your spirits. Okay? And therefore, then we won't be as reliant. Many people won't be as reliant on the alcohol, on nicotine, on sugar, and poor diet, and drugs as much. Okay, so and to do things that are going to help your body to manufacture those things that make you feel good. The more you can get that natural high, the less you're going to look for the other ones. And then some strategies or ways to do this is to do it incrementally, is to set some small achievable goals. Don't say, I'm gonna, okay, Dr. Brown said to do, to change diet and do this and do that. And you're gonna change everything in a few days or in a week. Make some incremental steps. If you're not exercising, start with making some changes with that. 10 minutes to 15 minutes and 20 minutes to the 30 minutes to 45 to an hour. And I say an hour is ideal. Okay. And doing that consistently, put it on the calendar, put it on your schedule, and try to stick to that schedule. And the things come up. People are going to ask you. There's going to be all kinds of distractions, but fit that into the schedule for you, especially if you're a parent, a caregiver, or you got significant responsibilities in the work and what you have to do, what you're doing in the community. And then with food, same thing. Okay, to make changes gradually. Don't say I'm gonna have everything I want to eat today and then start fasting tomorrow. Make incremental changes. Target the areas that you want to make some changes in. And oftentimes I find that people know what those things are. If they do have a food diary, they can write things down and say, I see we're eating too many sweets, or I could do better in a particular area, and start making those incremental changes until um, over time, 6 months to even a year, what some people take. There's a significant difference in how they're eating. And in that time, then you find out some dishes, some things that you can replace so that you're not focused on on what you're missing, but you're focusing on what you're getting and discovering new things. Okay. And then, and with this, one thing that's vitally important and helpful is you find community and you find support. So sometimes the support is family, sometimes it's friends, other times it's not any of the, it's none of the above. It's people in the community who have similar interest to what you want to do, and you gravitate toward them, and you find help there. And typically, you'll find in the groups people who are new, like you are, and people who have a lot of experience, and they can share. And everybody has a story and a path, and how they came to do what they're doing. Okay, and but support is vitally important. So if people are feeling isolated, depressed, anxious, uh, uh, helpless, whatever, then finding support within the community with other people is a great benefit. COVID, in this period of COVID in 2020, and the aftermath of that, caused us to be very isolated, caused us to be separated, caused people to social distance. And with that, a lot of emotional things occurred with that as well. And really, we're by nature very social people. People would be around other people. Okay, and so we have to kind of reestablish some relationships, or reestablish some behaviors, or establish some new behaviors. So you can do that with community involvement as well, and look at ways to volunteer, look at ways to be in community service, look at ways to get out and get out of your comfort zone, whether that be your house, your neighborhood, your side of town, or something, and to lift yourself up by living a different rhythm, a different way. And then in doing this, in a way to do this and to be successful at it, is not to take the totality of what I've shared, but take something from let's say something from the diet. Okay, saying, okay, I'm going to move more toward plant-based. I'm going to move more towards a more natural or healthy diet. Okay, and set a path on what you're going to do there, and then do something in terms of exercise. So it's when you're eating, exercise, and then look at that mindfulness and meditation. Look at the quiet time. If you were to take those three areas, okay, and make some incremental changes there in the next year, much less 2 or 3, you'll be a totally, I'll say a significantly different person. Okay. So most people overestimate what can be done in a short period of time, but underestimate what can be done over a longer period of time. So if you're in this for the long haul, you want to deal with finding your passion and purpose, and dealing with depression, or feeling low, or feeling isolated, or feeling blah, whatever, and you want to achieve more with your work, with your personal life, with your social life, in your community. You want to have a greater sense of purpose and discover that. Then those are some tools, tips, and techniques that you can incorporate in starting today. Right? So, if you're interested in learning more, you can go to holistictraininginstitute.com. That's WHOLISTIC, traininginstitute.com. And our mission is to train healers in every home, in every family, in every community. That healer could be you. And that person that gets healed could be you. It could also be your family and friends and community, but it all starts with you. So hopefully you've garnered some things on passion and purpose in dealing with depression. And I'll see you soon. There'll be much more to come. Take care.